Obligation is the death of desire. This is one of my favorite quotes. Well, I don't love the quote because I don't love what it represents, but the quote itself is so useful because it's so true. Every time I have been forced to do something, I've had to do something, it saps my will to do it instantly. Obligation is the death of desire. And this is a thing that is extremely important for me to navigate in managing my own life when there's things that I need to do that I might not want to. Very common. And also in my role as an ADHD coach, where I'm supposed to, in general, tell people what to do. And if I make it a thing they have to do, which often can be really effective because we want to raise the stakes and make it real so people care and act. But if it becomes a choice that they are forced to make, or rather the choice is withdrawn, they just have to do it, people will go to extreme lengths to avoid doing things where they really feel that they have no choice but to do it. And that often looks like avoidance, shutdown, all sorts of really weird abstract coping behaviors that are not that helpful or healthy at all. All because once we are forced to do something, we just don't want to do it. Now, generally when I teach, I try to use examples or I pull from examples. Right now, I'm very tired. So I'm going to let you think of times in your life when you've been wanting or about to do something and then someone tells you to, and then suddenly it's the last thing possible. Like, here's an example. If you were ever about to wash the dishes, and as you're going to wash the dishes, feeling very good and virtuous, then someone says, hey, could you wash the dishes? And then suddenly it's the last thing you want to do. It's almost as if their suggestion took it away from you. Have you ever had that experience? Have you ever had that feeling? It sucks. And what about when you're forced to word find when you're doing a YouTube video? No. What am I getting at here? Why is this relevant? Stay with me. The key to unlocking this is to make things optional again. I was doing a presentation today and I wanted people to join in and have that participation. And in fact, at one point, because I believe in this and I know how helpful it is, I asked people to get up from their chairs and shake and jump and get some blood flow back in. I'd been talking for a while and I could see in the Zoom window, whatever, I could see people, their body language, they were like fading. And I know that if we jump up, we get some blood flowing again, we'll be more switched on. We will absorb the information that they wanted to absorb even more easily. Now, some people got up, jumped around, and it was great. And I could see when they sat back down, they were more attentive and they were aware of a change in themselves. And there were many who just really didn't want to. And I tried this again later on in the presentation. But this time offering get up, jump around, shake things off, etc. And I demonstrated it and I did all the same things and the same amount of people didn't respond. And then I said, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And then suddenly a whole lot of these people who previously had no interest went, oh, yeah, he's right. I don't have to. And they got up and started bouncing and shaking and then sat down looking more energized. Isn't that interesting? Maybe you're a parent telling your son to tidy their room for the 10,000th time and it never seems to land. Maybe that's because you're forcing him to. Maybe he feels obligated and therefore doesn't want to do it. No one wants to do a thing they have to do. And as soon as you make it an option, maybe that might loosen things up, might reduce the internal friction, might make it accessible. Probably not the best example with parenting, because if you make tidying your room optional, people probably won't do it. But if you've tried everything else, maybe. In adults, it's more robust. Because even if it's a thing that the individual might want to do, as soon as they feel that they have to, it takes the joy out of it. And the second you remove the have to from it, they might go, well, you know what, but I want to, so I will, and they can and they do. It's very interesting to watch. Now, this might be useful for you in your interactions with other people. It may be useful for you in your own life. There may be things that you are really avoiding because you are feeling forced to do them. What if you could make them more optional? What if you could change your relationship with the obligation that you had? What if you considered other options as possible, and this was just the best one of those options? Maybe then you might want to? Who knows? Obviously speaking very generally here, but may help. And it is with that intention that I share anything on this channel, the intention that whatever I may say or share may help you in some way, now or later. And I hope that this does, perhaps, too. Thank you for making it this far in yet another one of my videos. If this is your first time here at this channel, thanks for sticking around. I'm glad you enjoyed something about what I'm saying or how I'm saying it. If you want to see more, I make a new video every single day of 2024, at least. So if you'd like to see more, hit subscribe and you'll see whatever I post tomorrow, but that's about me. More, I'd like to hear from you. What might you like me to talk about? Or what were some things that I talked about today that were useful for you? What were some things that you learned or ways that you might apply this to your own life? Write that down in the comments for your own personal integration. It may help you lock whatever you learned in that little bit more deeply. Thank you again for making it this far. I just said that before, but I mean it. Thank you. And perhaps, just maybe, I'll see you in the next